So 5 years ago, around and going on to 6, I started to discover those number sequences, and I was going through a major shift in my life. Does everybody have to go through a major shift in life to listen to Spirit and to know Spirit is there? No, that does not need to happen. However, if it is a part of your process, then I'm here to help people embrace that. If this is not a part of your process where you don't have to go through all these extreme highs and lows, which I would actually like to say, I believe Spirit decides that before they come in, the type of thing that will cause the awakening. But I have people coming to the apothecary now at a very early life age, but a very old spirit age, ready to get started with crystals. I mean, people in high school, people that are in their 20s and not way down the path of life yet. So there are people that are coming in and they have this crystalline knowledge. They have this knowledge that I want to get my supply of crystals, and I want to, I think innately they're saying to themselves, raise my vibe so that I can hear what my spiritual access points are saying to me. So a couple of things I wanted to share with you is the first thing, that when you're just starting, it feels like, remember something. You've known this knowledge for maybe 1,000,000 years if we had to put it into numbers. So time and space is actually something we've made up. It's not something that exists in the angelic realm. And in the angels' access points in their space, they know you've lived this before. So if you're saying, I just can't figure out what they're saying, the first thing you can do to tell your physical temple that it's happening is, it's happening. They're communicating with me. And the reason I know it is because I've done this 1,000,000 times before, and all I have to do is remember how to do it. So when we come into this physical body, we tend to enter the land of amnesia. We forget the life experiences that we've walked before, and everything about this life is going to trigger pieces of other lives. It's going to be like, I don't know how to talk about it, but I feel like I've done this before. It's called deja vu, for example. It's that time when you're like, I've done this 1,000,000 times and I don't know how to tell someone without feeling like, and then that's usually when the darkness of perception comes in and we're afraid of what people think of us. And that's just darkness. It's heavy energy and fear-based energy that we have been learning since the time we came into this earth at this time to recognize. But now we're learning how to debunk what other people think, and we're starting to learn to listen to what the angels think. So that's the cool part of our conversation. The first step that I took whenever I was relearning the knowledge I've always known, which is the only reason why these magical messages exist, is because I began learning again, is I started writing. I had a dear friend at the time, and she's still a dear friend. And she was talking all the time about the art of writing and the story that you tell about your life. And her name is Julie McFall with Her Story Now. And she was saying that your whole world exists because of the way you define it. And you can redefine it at any given time, write your vision around it, and move forward in that direction. And what I didn't know at that time was that I was rewriting my story of my connection to my angelic truth and to my spirit's truth. So I would begin every day, and still do. Dear God, dear angels, dear spirit guides, and dear anything that can tell me what's going on here. I would date it, I would time it, and it would always be around this time in the morning. And this is a very early hour that I'm starting this, but I felt very driven to do it. So I began writing. And the first paragraph would be somewhat like tears on a page about what was happening in my life, to a degree that I was willing to write about, not even really knowing I was still holding so much in. And I was writing it, and pretty soon, by like page 2, Spirit just started talking. And I thought, this is what they're talking about with scribing. this is what I'm learning about, where people can access their intuition through writing. And it's also what I learned about in Bible stories. Like, the whole Bible was written, which my phone is sitting on a Bible right now. And I have to be the first to admit, I don't read the Bible every day, but it's spirit truth that was written through the man's eyes. And the one thing my spirit feels called to do is to share with the whole world that every human being has a spiritual story to tell. And it could be the next parable in the Bible. It could be the next story to be told that can be this significant spiritual lesson, so that we can keep walking toward the next spiritual lesson. So writing was the starting point. The second thing that started to happen was I not only heard the ringing, I started hearing messages and seeing visuals in my temple brain space. So I started to notice that my right side would warm when my intuitive knowledge was coming forward, and my left side would get a headache when I was realizing the ego was talking instead. So I started noticing physical signs in my own body to begin accessing spiritual truth. So you'll hear often, if you get into this metaphysical land real deep, or if you get into psychics and things like that, that to guard your gifts in a way that you're building spirits up and you're empowering spirits rather than implanting them with information. Because I'd like to share something with you. No psychic can tell you your future, because you're deciding your future with your guides right now. And you get to pivot, it's called free will, this second. So no matter what that psychic says to you, your brain and your whole physical temple can decide that that's not for you and shift and then go toward a different way. Now, always remembering that you decided to go on a life path that was very specific and very designed, and that's called contracting with your spirit guides ahead of time. But you were on that path, but the day-to-day life stuff can shift. And if you go to a psychic, they're reading your auric field. So what's happening is anything you've thought about, dreamt about, working toward, anything that is coming to your mind's eye but you're not sharing, intuitive psychics can pick up on that auric field. But remember, unless you've lived it or you're doing it, they can't tell you where you're going. But that's a spiritual gift as well, to be able to read auras and to be able to see information around people to help them by saying, you have the knowledge within you. Let me just show you a couple things going on with you. And then what a psychic will do is say, okay, I see that a yellow bird is showing up for you, or I see that you feel your grandmother's presence around you. And all that does is it helps the individual access more and retrieve more, so we can get out of this land of amnesia. Now, a psychic is not your guru either. What Spirit is talking to you about is that you are your guru. You are the one with your own answers. You are the one with the soul's knowledge. You are the one with all the past life experiences that they're asking you to access, so they remember your learning points. So you remember your learning points. Spirit knows you're learning, but we are here in this physical temple to be able to retrieve it once again and to learn in this life with the contracts with these individuals around us. So the major contracts in our lives are the life partners we choose. If you're not at that point where you've chosen a life partner or partners, or the people that have been that significant other to you, it would be your mother, your father, siblings, grandmother, and sometimes people that we don't even call familial, but are in your family line, but they serve as a best friend in this life, and you can't understand why she's like a sister. So those are just to name a few. Now there's many, many more, and if I didn't mention one of yours, it's still there, and you mention it in your writing. So as you begin to access more of the truth of Spirit, different things help raise the vibe to get us on that. It's almost like a wavelength or a wave. It's almost like an energy wave. It's a good reminder that we come from places. And opalite is that stone of true self. It's the stone that helps us remember that we come from beautiful lands, that we're here to spread our knowledge and love to others with. Another stone that I keep very close when I'm accessing angelic support, and so many of you have these. That's the best part, is we already have the things we need. I use angelite for accessing angelic truth. Now, angelite is the word angel. It has the word angel as its base word, and it accesses our connection and a clear channel so we can communicate with our angelic support. And sometimes I just hold my tumble and I just get the angel presence around me, or I'll have it next to me or on my other journal page as I begin to write, and I'll put my hand on it. Like, I'll put my hand on the journal page like this, and I'll say, let me access my angelic truth now. And I'll always feel now Archangel Gabriel coming. I will tell you though, I went to a psychic one time, and I never really believed in the power of psychics at the time I went. And she kept saying, there is this archangel all around you, it's Gabriel. The minute she told me that, I started seeing archangels. It was just accessing an access point that I already had. I made that connection many, many times before. In fact, I feel like I counsel with angels on the other side. And I came in, and now I'll be with people and I will see archangels around them, and I will get a name right away. And I won't always know what they're there for. But if I go to research the angel, it has a connection to their life purpose and what they're doing. Another crystal that's really great for accessing more of our divine power is the clear quartz. And many of you had this as a starter crystal. And clear quartz opens that crown chakra, but it also amplifies all the other energies that you're willing to draw in. I would like to say too that we can amplify any energy. So being very selective and intentional about the energies we're choosing is the important thing. I also remember to keep close. This is an abalone shell. It's for protection, but it also raises the vibe too. And this is where I keep my sacred ash. I have in here, this might sound funny, but I do burn cinnamon. And when I burn cinnamon, I have my mandala candle holding my phone up. When I burn cinnamon, it actually helps me clear my brain space. You can buy cinnamon sticks at the local grocery store. You don't have to go to a metaphysical shop to get cinnamon sticks. And oftentimes, if I sense that someone's an overthinker, I'll tie this as an intuitive gift to a crystal order. So it'll burn like this. And it's really fun because when it burns out, it'll start making smoke up the center, and it'll literally make a round circle of smoke, which is a lot of fun. And then I just wrap myself in it, and it literally clears my headspace right away. And clearing your headspace can cause you to instantly raise your vibe because your brain waves aren't overthinking. You're not thinking about all this heavy energy stuff. Did you just see that? Did you just, you can rewind, there was an orb. I love when this happens. Your Palo Santo. Palo Santo is called the Holy Wood on purpose because this was an ancient ritual for raising spiritual vibes again. Get your Palo Santo out and get that smoke around you, raise your vibe, and begin to write. Begin to listen to spirit by raising the vibe. Another one, whether you get these or not doesn't matter. I just burn candles. This one's called Angelic Influence, and I don't even know if I think I have one left in inventory right now, but I'm ordering lots of candles. These go fast. But you can light any candle. You can light a white candle and just have the flame near, like the flame of truth. I always feel like it's the flame of truth. I have my mandala happiness candle behind the phone. Back here, it's on this side of the angel. This side of the angel. Good health is burning, and then I have a protection candle burning. But it's a way to just bring spirit back to knowing. I also have this very close, and you can see the iridescent flash. Now, this was an investment, but I also felt like it was very important to raise the vibe of this apothecary space of healing. And one of the dreams that I have is to either be a part of a healing center or bring a healing center. And this is going to be everywhere in a healing center. This is called Angel Aura Amethyst. And what they do is they treat the amethyst in a way that actually, I believe what is happening to me is the coloring of it is causing me to access the realm where I came from. And I feel like I'm from an angelic realm, and I'm able to communicate angelically with people when I feel that vibration again. I'm also working with Be a Luminary, and she is fantastic at crystal weaving, and I will get you her info. Her name's Laura Summers, and she actually crystal weaves, and she is going to be teaching people about the realms they're from. But this is something that over time, we are all coming together in our spiritual gifts. We're going to access those points of what we know and bring them forward. And this is one of those pieces that I always have near me, and it's right here, so that I can continue to raise my vibe in everything I go to do, because I also work in public education as well. And if I'm accessing angelic truth everywhere I am, then we bring angels and God power to everything we do, including children. Think about it like that. I also have a couple other things, and this is one of the golden healers I have, but I have lots of pebbles of this too. I have a healing crystal nearby, because oftentimes healers need healing too. We're doing a whole class on that beginning this weekend. Healers need healing too. And sometimes whenever I'm accessing past knowledge or other lives, I realize there's stuff I still need to heal from that. And that's why I'm living again to do this. So I have the healing power with me. And then finally, the Stone of Love. Because self-love through your process of connecting with angelic truth and by learning your intuitive gifts and guidance is going to be so important, because the more we love ourselves, the more we raise our vibration. And when we raise our crystal vibration in our spaces, like this is all selenite, lots of rose quartz towers over here with the angels. We have those also in the apothecary. The more we get that directed energy coming into us, the more we can access that higher vibrational frequency. And then that's when we start understanding their language. Remember that spirit goes really fast. And in fact, in a language we can't even articulate in our English language the way they do, but they tell us in a way so we can. And that's what we're looking to tap into. So this was another magical message. And if you have any questions about your spiritual gifts, what angels may be saying to you, we can talk through that together. You can find me at the slide at the end, and I'm on Live True at Live True Healing. You can also chat with me on our website at lovelivetrue.com in the chat box, and I will get all of your direct messages. And I will just say this, when you come through, I feel your spirit, and your spirit is ready to rock and roll in this life. All right, I'm sending you love, and I can't wait to see more of you.